The AI revolution isn't coming, it's already here. And it's moving faster than any shift in human history. And if you think you can rely on what you already know, think again. The future belongs to people who can learn fast, adapt instantly, and grow without stopping. So how do you stay ahead of the curve? For the past 25 years, I've worked with some of the biggest organizations in the world, helping them accelerate their learning, lead their people through massive change, and achieve sustained growth. And no matter how complicated the challenge, it always comes down to one simple cycle. Learn, change, grow, and then repeat. It works for businesses, it works for individuals, and in the AI era, it's not optional anymore. It's survival. Let's start with how learning used to work. You'd spend the first 20 years of your life in school, and maybe you got a degree or a certification, and that was the proof that you were qualified. And then you'd work for decades doing the things that you'd learned, and maybe spend 2% of your time on professional development. That might have worked when knowledge changed slowly, but now the half-life of skills is shrinking rapidly. What you know today might be outdated by next quarter. AI has completely leveled the playing field when it comes to access to knowledge. You used to have to study for years to have expertise in something, and now anyone can look up most of what you know in seconds. It's blown the doors off the old knowledge gatekeepers. The internet doesn't just have the answers, it has all of the answers. The real skill is knowing how to find them, understand them, and most importantly, use them in the real world. Here's the trap though. Passive learning feels productive. Watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, that's great for inspiration, but without action, it's like learning a foreign language that you'll never speak. You need to learn with purpose. You need to write things down. You need to reflect on those things and ask, how does this connect to what I already know? And how will I use this today? In the learning world, we have something called Bloom's Taxonomy. It's a framework for categorizing different levels of learning. And you can think of it like a ladder. Most people get stuck at remember or understand, but the winners, they keep climbing. AI is taking over a lot of the lower levels of thinking in Bloom's taxonomy, things like remembering and understanding, and even starting to encroach on the higher levels like applying and analyzing. That means that your value in an AI world means learning to work with these new tools to move your skills up the ladder to things that AI can't easily replace, things like evaluating and creating. So what's the alternative to the old learning model? You have to become much more of an active learner. You have to spend much more time learning new skills, exploring new tools, and adapting what you know. And it can't be passive. Take notes. Connect new ideas with old ones so that they stick. And then reflect and discuss what you've learned with others. Discussing new ideas with others is one of the best ways to cement those ideas into your brain. Because in this new reality, just knowing something isn't enough. You have to internalize it, you have to apply it, and build on it constantly. But here's the truth. Learning is useless if you don't change. Knowledge without action is like a gym membership that you never use. Change means doing something different, something hard, switching tools, trying new workflows, breaking old habits. And yeah, it can be uncomfortable. Your brain might fight it and you'll think, the old way works fine, why am I doing this? But in the AI era, speed of implementation is everything. And at some point, you just have to stop learning and start doing. We live in a world of infinite content and you will never be ready or done. So take what you know and start testing it. Don't count learning as the action. It's just the input before the action. Otherwise, you're just procrastinating by studying. Change can happen in two different places. There's internal change. This includes your mindset, your expectations, your comfort zone. And then there's external change. And these are your systems, your tools, your schedule, your processes. If you're not sure where to start, just ask yourself, what are the problems that I need to solve today that I can use AI to help me solve? And then go do that. Here's the hard part. Change feels risky. Doing things the old way feels safer because you can't fail at what you've always done. But in the AI era, you don't have that luxury anymore. And yes, you're going to hit roadblocks. Your first AI-generated image won't look like the amazing ones that you're seeing online. Your first workflow, it's going to be clunky. Your first prompts might completely miss the mark. That's normal. No one is going to give you permission to succeed. You have to keep going. You have to try again because the only risk now is standing still. Change can be dramatic. It can be a sudden layoff or industry shift, but sometimes it's subtle. It's just a slow decline in relevance until you're no longer the go-to person for your work. One of my mentors, organizational behavior expert Bob Quinn, says it this way. You're either engaging in deep change or you're experiencing a slow death. Once you change, you grow, and growth compounds. The first time you automate a task, you might save an hour, but the 10th time you use that automation, you've saved a full workday. Growth is the reward for change, but it's also the foundation for the next cycle. When growth shows up, it can be exciting. You've learned new skills. You have more opportunities. Maybe you have more followers or subscribers. But growth isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it can bring new challenges you didn't expect. I like to think of growth like a volcanic island forming. As the lava flows and hardens, the island gets bigger. But so does the coastline, and that coastline is where you meet all the things that you don't know yet. Some parts are jagged and inhospitable, and you might feel unprepared or inadequate there. But over time, those sharp edges can turn into new, lush, thriving areas. And that's what real growth looks like. It's not always comfortable. It's expanding your capabilities and expanding your awareness of what's possible. The last step is probably the easiest to understand, but the hardest to live by. And that is, you have to continually repeat this process. You don't just learn once, you don't change once, you don't grow once and call it done. Because in an AI world, last year's growth can quickly become this year's plateau. And the people who thrive are the ones who are going to keep the loop going. Learn, change, grow, and then repeat it. And the best part is that every cycle makes you more adaptable, more valuable, and more ready for that next wave. And soon you're not just surviving the change, you're surfing it. And honestly, that's where the fun begins.
The future of work is not just about new tools. It's about new ways of thinking, working, and leading. AI presents a monumental learning challenge for every organization, and our core mission at Blake Learning Solutions is to help you navigate it. We specialize in developing AI transition strategies, understanding the technology landscape, managing cultural shifts, and reskilling your workforce for a new era of productivity. Visit blakelearn.com/AI to learn more.